Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Mystic Mayhem. Now, in today's video, we are going to be doing another character guide because this one I've been wanting to do for some time now because honestly, she's probably one of my favorite characters in the game in my roster. And today we're going to be talking about Dreamqueen. Now, I think that she may give Emma Frost a run for her money for top support in the game. I admit I don't have Emma Frost. A lot of people use her, but I do have to say that Dreamqueen is very, very, very good. In fact, she does a little bit more than her kit suggests because it's not actually listed on her skills. We're going to be talking about that and more in today's video. So if you need an awesome support character, hopefully you'll learn something in this video about how to build her. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Okay, let's just jump straight into her skills. Let's just kind of go over that for those who don't know Dreamqueen very well. Now, one of her skills, Hex Whip. This applies Hex to the target enemy. This can be upgraded through a variety of different ways, but it does damage. It does special damage. But the Hex debuff, it does reduce damage dealt by 20%. So this isn't too bad on bosses. It's pretty good actually if you need it. And then when an enemy with Hex is defeated, Hex is applied to a nearby enemy for 7 seconds. So she doesn't have to kill the person, by the way. Anyone can do that. And this is quite nice too. So she can be used in AoE fights as well, and I do actually do that. Now her other attack is AoE. It is a mana cost of 4. This is kind of a little bit heavy. It is AoE attack. It ignores shields, and then it dispels a buff. And then with some of the upgrades, you know, if she dispels a buff, she can get mana too. We'll talk about that in the Soul Saga and things like that. Her passive, though, she does a flat enemy attack reduction AoE, so it's not a ton, but it's still not bad either, and it does stack with Hex, right? So if you get the 20% damage reduction with Hex and then a 6.6%, or at least at my level anyways, for this, and I could actually get this up to 6.75, but I'm not quite there yet. And then, of course, her first passive increases crit rate of all ally skills by 10%. This is huge, alongside one of the highlights that we're going to be talking about as well. So keep that in mind. 10% is pretty good. And then when an ally uses a skill, they recover 3% max HP for each mana consumed. Now, this might not seem like a lot, right? You know, so a 2 mana cost is going to give them 6% HP. 4 mana would be 12%. But this actually is enough for those kind of damage-heavy teams where you don't need a lot of healing, but just a little bit to kind of get you through some content and kind of push up. So I do like this. And finally, at 61, ally skills ignores 25% of defense of enemies with Hex. So this is actually really good for single target, because if you're doing a boss encounter, that's 25% ignore defense on a boss with Hex if you use that ability. And it's only on a mana cost of 2, so it's really not that bad. Fortunately, it only lasts for 7 seconds, but we'll go into her Soul Saga for a little bit. So her Mind 1, this Deadly Illusion, this is the AoE attack. So this is what I was talking about, that if you dispel enemy buffs at all, you gain 50 ultimate energy. Now, I went all the way up to Mind 2 for energy generation at 30%. Which is quite huge. Mind 3, if I can click on it, the buff of Illusion of the Seraphim lasts for 5 more seconds, so this is her ultimate ability, which my game crashed. Okay, we'll come back to this in a second. Alright, well, since we were talking about the ultimate, let's just come back to it anyway. So Illusion of the Seraphim, I kind of skipped it. For some reason, I skipped over it. So the 10 seconds would jump up to 15 seconds with Mind 3, which is really huge because it increases the damage of all ally skills by a whopping, at least for me, 78.75% up to 80.5 at max level. This is insane. We're going to see this in the gameplay, that you want to use this and then you spam all of your attacks with your other characters. And one thing that's not here, but it does do, and we'll see this in game as well, it actually gives you +3 mana. So this is pretty important because it does actually elevate you and it enables you to be able to use your skills by giving you +3 mana. And this isn't mentioned, and also why energy generation is so important with Dreamqueen. Now, Heart 1, it's okay. So if they have Hex and they defeated, you have 50% chance to gain 1 mana. But the way that I use her is more as a boss killer, to be honest. I don't really use her in this where you're going to be killing lots of characters with Hex. I'm not a big fan of that. Attack by 15%, again, she's not really a damage dealer, so I don't really want that. And then Heart 3, when there are enemies in Hex status on the field, the mana cost of Hex Whip is reduced by 1. So this one's not too bad, but then I have to go through Heart 1 and Heart 2 to get to Heart 3. This is where basically it would only cost 1 if somebody already has Hex on the field like a boss and I'm reapplying it. This would be nice, but it's just not a high priority for me. And finally, at the very end, if you happen to get this, apply this is insane. This is this is actually insane. Her ultimate applies hex to all enemies lasting for 7 seconds. This is big, but again, you have to go through all of the buffs. But here's why I want to talk about why I also like her, is that you can farm this, right? So this is stuff that you can get in the in the Alliance shop. You can farm Dreamqueen shards. So whether or not you actually get dupes for her with your shadow keys or whatever, you can actually this is something that's grindable, that you can actually get more Dreamqueen shards. Now, I will be buying more, but I tend to wait till I can like complete one of my soul sagas. I'm not going to actually buy it right now. So I hold on to my Alliance tokens until I can actually activate the next soul saga. So I'm not buying any more right now, even though I have 800 Alliance credits and I could buy one, but it's not going away, right? It's not a limit. It's not a weekly or monthly limit or anything like that. So that's why I'm not doing that. Now, as far as how to build her, kind of alluded to this a little bit, but let's talk about highlights, because some of them are really, really good. And I have to say, if there's anything that you should do in this game or try to do, is get the Ancient Frontier controller highlight. This is absolutely insane. The wearer's energy generation increases by 30%, right? And after the wearer uses the ultimate move, allies' crit rate goes up by 16% for 10 seconds. Keep in mind that Dreamqueen's already boosting it by 10% as well. So this is 26% across the team. And getting this upgraded more even further would be absolutely can't even talk today. Amazing. And where do you get Ancient Frontier other than buying it and pulling it? You can actually save up for this in the Dream Sand. You can get it here under Ancient Frontier. It does take some time to get this. You're not going to get this right away, right? This is all the Dream Sand that I have after pulling all my stuff. But this is still a free-to-play way to get that. As far as other highlights that you could use with Dreamqueen, though, I mean, I think the best place to look at this is actually Marvel Mystic Mayhem, or mysticmayhem.gg, which has a huge list of all of the existing highlights. Now, I think if you don't have Ancient Frontier, the one that I would probably use, honestly, I don't like the ones. I don't like Guardian of Reality. This is more of a Man Thing one. No strings on me. All allied defenders defense increase. This one might be okay if I had to do it. The other one that I would consider using, honestly, could be Selfie Time. If you have characters that are using 2 or less mana skills. Other than that, the blue one might be okay, actually. Or you could use a Vow to Protect, which is a Sleepwalker's highlight here. Whereas outgoing healing increases by 32%. I have not tested this myself, but I have heard in my Discord server that this does apply to Dreamqueen's passive, which means that for every mana that you spend, you are going to heal more for your characters. So if you used a 3 mana, for example, which would be like 6%, you would end up healing an extra 2% on top of that, right? So you're healing more per skill, and then after using a skill or ultimate move that heals, gain 1 mana. So any of her ultimate or her skills will give more mana. The other one I would consider is, if you're really being cheap to play, is what I'm calling it, is Weavers of Dream. It's a blue one. The wearer gains 90 ultimate energy at the start of battle. Now, what's great about that one, I think I do actually have this here at the level 5 awakening stage. Wearer gains 140 ultimate energy at the start of battle. So this was one that I was using before I had Ancient Frontier, because that's a lot to start with. And so that's a really big boost in what is going to be really important for her. So the other thing is artifacts. This is pretty easy. I would use the Avengers ID card for any support kind of character, and I would try to stack up as much energy generation as possible. This is not necessarily the best version of one. I just don't have any others right now that have higher energy generation. Also gives the allies attack by 15% for 10 seconds. And Gamma Mutagen, also another amazing one, because its ability is 20% energy. I'm just stacking as much energy generation as I can for Dreamqueen. That's her job. And so I also have 14.6% as additional stats. So that's 34.6% on this Gamma Mutagen combined with all of this. So as much energy generation as you can possibly stack. That's my idea. But these two are the best artifacts, I think, for her, in my opinion. Another one, I should have mentioned this. Another one that you could have used instead, if you have a good one, would be this. The Undradjarn. So all allies take 12% less damage for 10 seconds after she uses her ultimate move. If you happen to get something, again, with energy generation, that's a stat that you want to focus on the most for Dreamqueen. So let's take Dreamqueen into battle to actually talk about why I like her so much. Now, unfortunately, so I do use her in Nightfall, but I don't have my Nightfall activated. I already did my attempts by the time that I'm recording this right now. But I can show you that my score, I think I should be able to, my record, this is what I'm doing right anyways right now, is that I'm running Storm, Dreamqueen, and Thor. And it varies. I'm doing the Hell mode right now. And I do actually really enjoy using her, even on AoE-based fights, where she has a little bit of AoE, but that's not really her intent. She's just there to elevate everybody else, and she does a damn good job at that, in my opinion. So I'm not using Emma Frost. But just to show you what I mean, I love this rune raid here of this one, because I need more of this stuff anyways. So I'm going to do one run of this. I've done this on the Scarlet Witch video when I did my gameplay showcase, because I like showcasing this on boss fights, and there's like 3 big bosses on this one. So we're going to use Juggernaut as a tank. He's going to tank these 2 here. I'm just going to bring in Storm, because Storm already has... I kind of shared the same highlight and artifacts with Storm and Scarlet Witch, because I never use both at the same time. But for the purposes of this gameplay video, I just want to show you this anyways here. So we're going to do this, and we're going to show you why Dream Queen is so good. So I'm going to try and make sure that I use more of her skills in this one anyway. So the debuff, right, this is going to be the Hex Whip. Let's just, you know, go over here, right? So it doesn't do it. I'm not doing a ton of damage. She's not there for the DPS. That's not why she's here. But you can kind of see my ultimate bar is going up quite a bit faster here. I'm just going to go through that buff here with Juggernaut. I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to save my energy. And so if you just noticed that I am still charging with Juggernaut for his damage. And now, when I do my Dream Queen ultimate here, it's going to buff all of their skill damage. And actually, you can kind of do that with Juggernaut in advance, because when he actually blows off right now, so you can see that I also got the +3 energy. And now Juggernaut's going to go here, and he's going to do a lot of damage. And that's because you get the additional damage from Dream Queen's ultimate. And then basically, I just go to town with the variety of different skills. It just does so much damage. Everyone's doing so much damage, and it's all coming from Dream Queen. And I really don't need to, like, do anything else with Dream Queen. I'm just kind of alting as much as I possibly can, right, to be able to get through. Now I could do this, right, but it's a cost of 4. I don't really want to do this unless I literally have nothing else. We can do the Hex Whip, and that's still going to be okay, right? It does decent damage actually, especially with the Dream Queen ultimate. And then we go in for another buff, and then we have the ultimates coming up pretty soon. You know, I clear this a lot faster when I'm using Scarlet Witch, and we can move this back up to 2x. But my point is that, like, with the with high energy generation, you can actually, she just bumps everyone else's skill damage so significantly. I love using her. I probably shouldn't have had her tank the boss there, but I wasn't really caring about where I had my placement. And she is just, in my opinion, the best. I mean, I don't have Doctor Strange, I don't have Emma. I know they're good, but Dream Queen is one of the best, what I'm going to call free-to-play available, a lot easier support character, because you can farm her with her shards, that you can buy those shards out of the Alliance store every single week, you know, as you get those out, that you can get her Soul Saga upgraded eventually a lot faster than you're going to be able to do everyone else. And the reason for, and because of this, I'm wondering if she is going to be the go-to support character, because you can eventually grind your way up to the final soul, which is going to be game-changing, honestly. And it won't be that easy for you to be able to do that for characters like Emma Frost or Doctor Strange. And frankly, I'm not even sure. I think that she's better than Doctor Strange. Unless you really need healing for some reason, you're punching up content, that kind of thing. I don't think that you actually need Doctor Strange for standard content. And so I do think that Dream Queen is one of the best support characters in the game. Prove me wrong. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below about Dream Queen. I do hope that this video helped for those who are considering using her. She is my top support character in my roster. You can see it right here. These are the main characters that I'm using right now, and she is my top support character. Needless to say, I don't have Emma Frost or Strange, but I think I would still be using Dream Queen anyways for the reasons that I listed in this video. So that's it for now, everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.